Looks like we need a reminder of what's important here, because who are we serving? Ourselves or the victims' families of September 2001? Or are we just become a hobbyist and we treat 9/11 as if it's some side job or some side project that when we look at it in its generality, we look at it as if there's nothing we could do about it. Good thing about September 2001 is that there's always new information that comes out. Well, some of the most important information ever regarding this incident had come out, but once again, it has been largely ignored. I made a video as soon as the information came out on the day itself. I'm referring to the Operation Encore FBI files relating to the FBI's investigation into Saudi financing of hijackers involved with the September 2001 attacks. One such file is right here. As you could see, it's about Omar al-Bayoumi, who actually denied being hired by a federal agency within the Saudi kingdom, in which payments were made to two hijackers living inside the United States who were involved with other al-Qaeda terrorist incidents, such as the USS Cole bombing and the 1998 East Africa bombings at some level. Well, for the first time, now we have what we always, people like myself, Nelson Martins, Ryan Dawson, John Gold, Paul Thompson, Robbie Martin, have always insinuated that indeed Omar al-Bayoumi acted as an intermediary to the Saudi government and acted as the conduit between the Saudi government and two al-Qaeda operatives who were involved with 9/11, and Khalid al-Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi. Once again, as I previously stated in the video made about a month ago, here you can see for yourself, for the first time, the name of the government company and the person who hired him back in 1975. Read with me. Further investigation into al-Bayoumi determined that al-Bayoumi had been employed by the Saudi Arabian presidency of civil aviation since 1975. An individual interviewed by the FBI advised that PCA employee Hamid al-Rashid, business telephone number is redacted, was involved in the payment of salary to al-Bayoumi, reference redacted. Furthermore, this individual identified Hamid al-Rashid as the father of Saud, Abdulaziz Saud al-Rashid, reference redacted. At the time of this identification, the photograph of Saud al-Rashid was being broadcast in the news media as a result of the issuance of an international Be on the Lookout. Now, let me blow it up again. So this way you can see why this is important. Meanwhile, I will blank myself out so you can read the whole thing. Excuse me. For Saud al-Rashid, after an image of his passport had been found on a CD-ROM along with the images of the passports, 9/11 hijackers, Khalid al-Mihdhar, Salim al-Hazmi, who is the brother of Nawaf al-Hazmi, and Abdul Aziz al-Amari. Since that time, blank, reference blank, media reports regarding Saud al-Rashid have identified his father to be Abdul Saud al-Rashid, an employee of the Saudi Red Crescent in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This information clearly differs than the information previously obtained by the FBI. In order to clarify that the father of Saud al-Rashid is not the same individual who is associated with al-Bayoumi, it is requested that Legat, blank, redacted, confirm the identity of the father of Saud al-Rashid and determine if he was ever employed at PCA. Additionally, it is requested that Legat, redacted, confirm the employment of Hamid al-Rashid at PCA. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What more do you need to show that the Saudi government have been paying an intermediary inside the United States who denied that he was working for any Saudi government agency, who actually was given money, renting an apartment in his name, helping them get driver's licenses, open up bank accounts in their name to two al-Qaeda operatives who were involved with the September 11th attacks in Khalid, al-Mihdhar, and Nawaf, al-Hazmi. How is this unbelievably remarkable revelation that was reluctantly provided to the public by the FBI under the guidance of the State Department not headline news? How is the truth movement, and I'll use that word truth very lightly, not involved with headlining this in their viral media or in their interviews? Because we are at a war on two fronts. One is a war for information. That information is reluctantly given and also classified by the State Department. What the United States doesn't want you to really understand is the long-time partnership with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that goes back to 1932, when we allowed Standard Oil, an oil company based in California, to discover oil fields in Saudi Arabia, making us the #1 market of Arab oil. In return, we continually press this relationship because Saudi Arabia is the largest purchaser of American weapons than any other country in the world. They use these weapons, for example, in their war, which is the largest humanitarian crisis in the world, where 2 billion people are without homes and over 700,000 people are killed. This is the war the Saudis are having in Yemen. It is the largest humanitarian crisis in the world, facilitated by the United States because we provide weapons to this ghoulish regime. Need I remind you that 16 of the 19 hijackers, muscle hijackers primarily, came from Saudi Arabia. The murder of a US journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, as the CIA in their report basically stated that the Saudi government, led by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, was involved with his murder. Need I remind you the other terrorist cells that were operating and who were affiliated with al-Qaeda, such as Abu Sayyaf, Boko Haram, Jemaah Islamiyah in Indonesia, who were all being paid paid hush money by the Saudi kingdom for them not to attack them, because the United States has a military station in the most holiest sites of Islam, Mecca and Medina, that go back to 1990. So, because of this long-standing relationship with a very repressive monarchy built upon an anti-Islamic principle of Wahhabism, the State Department and the FBI continue to cover up the Saudi involvement with 9/11. I've interviewed a former FBI agent who is working with the family committee under Creedler and Creedler, Ken Williams, who infamously wrote a memo that is known as the Phoenix Memo, which warned of Zechariah Subra and other terrorist operatives who were affiliated with al-Qaeda that were learning to fly airliners in training schools located in Scottsdale, Arizona, and other cities within that state, in which he said that the FBI told him not to help them with the family's lawsuit against Saudi Arabia. I thought the FBI worked for us, the people. Obviously, they are not. And they continue to cover up the Saudi involvement with 9/11. There's also a war against disinformation. And unfortunately, this is a war that should not be conducted or entertained. And unfortunately, it's coming from the one group you would think that is about the facts of history. It's the 9/11 Truth Movement. Unfortunately, they've been hijacked for a very long time by dozens and dozens of people who espouse that planes were not hijacked, that the Saudis didn't exist, that there were living hijackers, that the planes were actually holograms. Plane debris is planted by nefarious agents in broad daylight in front of thousands of people, that the planes that were filmed on camera are all manipulated, they're all faked, including amateur video, media video, as well as other infantile and erroneous theories. People like Christopher Bolin, Alex Jones, Jim Fetzer, Barbara Honegger, the co-producers of Loose Change, the Citizens Investigation Team, groups like Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry, Pilots for 9/11 Truth, Truth Action Project, all these groups and all these people like Rebecca Roth and Judy Wood, espouse these falsehoods and continue to be active, some of them. Some of them are now defunct, no longer active. But we still have people who are lingering in the truth movement, who continue to basically sow disinformation in the public mindset. They continue to do videos, write books, do lectures, hold conferences. There was recently a 10-hour conference hosted by Richard Gage of 9/11 Unleashed, in which he entertained these silly theories purported by one of the godfathers of the Pentagon issue, Theory Mason, and also having people who have no 9/11 experience or work involved with this conference in Craig McKee and Adam Ruff. And of course, one prominent figure who continues to be a cancerous sore to the truth movement and to the public, who continues to lie and espouse about what happened on September 11, 2001, Barbara Honegger. But at the very end, they did allow two prominent speakers to speak about the evidence of what happened at the Pentagon in David Chandler, Wayne Costi. However, they lost. They were outvoted because the people who follow Richard Gage are indeed the fringe conspiracy theorists who have become victim to people like Honegger and people I just mentioned before. There are very few people willing to challenge the theories of these people like myself, Nelson Martins, DJ Thermal Detonator, Ed Brotherton, formerly of We Are Change LA, and of course, newcomers like Sean Russell, Darren Harvey, which I'm very thankful for. And of course, coming back into the fold, it seems, is John Gold and Robbie Martin. But we need more help in promoting and producing factual information to the public to try to circumvent the disinformation and, of course, the apparent and obvious lack of information from our very own federal government. So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, there are two fronts here. One is a front for trying to obtain information from the federal government. And of course, fighting on the other side is the fight for disinformation from the 9/11 Truth Movement. I'm calling on people who are watching this video or followers of mine of this YouTube channel to join in on promoting factual information to the public about this issue that is so important. And as you can see, this is another reminder video showing you that indeed new information has come out, which is largely ignored by the federal government, which I'm expecting, but the unexpected is the truth movement. You would think they would jump on this issue of Saudi government operative financing two people who are involved with September 11 attacks, and it's not being reported by anyone from the federal government or the 9/11 Truth Movement. We need more sane voices, and I'm calling on people to create new content, to create videos, to write written content, And if you're shy about doing videos, you don't have to show your face. I don't like my voice, and I'm very self-conscious. But the information is more important than your self-security issues. And we need all the help we can get. And it is our due diligence to the public to be informed and educated about this subject, which is sorely misrepresented by the federal government and the 9/11 Truth Movement. Thank you very much. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen.